California Proposition 13, repeal deception. Proposition 13 is going to be repealed, or Sacramento is going to try to repeal it, by a proposition that's on the 2020 ballot. This proposition, in essence, is to create a split roll dividing commercial real estate properties against homeowners living in their properties as their principal residence. And it's going to have the commercial properties no longer protected by Proposition 13. So what's happening here, okay, is going to be a total misleading of the California voters into voting for a proposition that's going to cost them all money, even though the people in Sacramento are going to say that's not the case. Voters in California should keep in mind that just like with the proposition to repeal the gas tax, this proposition has a much less than truthful heading on it. And these headings, which is what most people just read, are put on by the California Attorney General. Personally, I think it's probably somewhere over 98% of the people just read the headings of the propositions and never get into the details. That's why the heading of the propositions are so important, and the job to see that they really reflect the intent of the proposition was given over to the California Attorney General. But just like we saw with the gas tax proposition that was just meant to repeal the increased gas taxes and registration fees, the heading that the Attorney General put on it was very misleading, as it implied that it would take away money from road repairs, bridge, and safety issues. Many believe that the original gas tax could have taken care of all the necessary road and bridge repairs and safety issues if Sacramento did not just use approximately 20 to 25% of the original gas tax that was collected for this. Instead, they siphoned off the other 75% of the gas tax revenue into the California General Fund and let our roads pretty much deteriorate. Then all of a sudden they say, hey, we have to increase the gas taxes to fix the roads and stuff, not telling the public that, hey, they had plenty of money to do that if they wouldn't have siphoned it off. Now, this proposition looks pretty much the same. It's a misleading proposition title that is going to be used again to trick the voters in California to vote for this. It affects just commercial properties, and I'm sure you'll be told that your own home's tax base will remain unchanged. Although this is essentially correct, at least for now, what they're not telling you is that if you currently own investment properties, your taxes are going to go way up. Plus, even if you're not a property owner, you are going to be affected. I'm pretty certain that politicians in Sacramento are going to try to turn renters against property owners in pushing this proposition. What renters should really think about, and all Californians for that matter, is, let's say your dentist is renting an office, and now that office building is hit with a huge property tax increase because it's no longer protected under Proposition 13. Well, guess what? Your dentist is going to be hit with a huge rent increase, and this is sure to be reflected in his billing to his patients for his dental services. What about grocery stores? Yes, grocery stores are commercial properties. If the tax bill goes up tremendously on your local grocery outlet, what do you think is going to happen for them to stay in business? Yes, you got it. All their prices are going to have to be increased. And for renters, if your landlord has a tax base hiked up, you can be certain that your rent will be going up as well. Don't fall for this deception by the Democrats in Sacramento. This is just another money grab that's going to affect all the residents of the state. Watch out for the deceptive commercials, which will no doubt try to divide renters against real estate investors. Be assured that this is a major deception that exactly follows along the lines the California Attorney General used on putting a misleading heading on the gas tax repeal to scare the voters into voting no for it. Currently, the title of this proposition to split the roll for Proposition 13 is called Education and Local Government Funding. You see, nowhere in there do they say anything about Proposition 13 or property taxes. But anyway, who knows? That name could change before it gets on the ballot, but that's what it is right now. And you have to read these things, because then sometimes they get real sneaky, and I could just tell you right now, vote no on it. But who knows? If that gets around, they might say a no is really a yes. So keep a sharp eye out for this proposition, and hopefully just vote no on it. For information about the current condition of the San Diego residential real estate market, be sure to visit brokerforyou.com. The 4 is FOR and the U is YOU. Hey, thanks.